Surprise! We're live again. I'll give it a few minutes to kind of go out into the world. I know it's not daylight savings time.
It's the end of daylight
savings. The end of daylight savings time. I call it all the same thing. And look at you. Like, Cheryl can stand behind this, like, look what happens. I'm like, I become half a person. So I thought we'd just kind of come on, hang out. Honestly, I'm having an okay day. So doing this and hanging out with you guys is going to make me feel better. So that's one of the things. Another thing is brand new milk maker.
Awesome.
And Cheryl actually helped me in making this happen. So one of you guys said, hey, there's this other milk machine. Now, I will also say some of you have said, hey, here's this automatic sprouting machine and some other things, and I can't do all the things. So I apologize. So if it hits me right and or they will send it to me so I can try it out, then things may happen. And hey to whoever's hanging out with me now. So tell me what the weather's like. It's a jammy day for me. Cheryl is having a sweats day. And what kind of day are you having? So we have this whole new milk maker, and instead, kind of like we did with the ladybug yesterday, I'm big on let's unbox this together. So if I can't figure it out, you'll see where some of the stopping points. Now, one thing I will say, Milky Plant is having a sale this weekend. I will try and put links back in here when the live is over. It does cost more because it's from the UK. But they did have an affiliate program for people in the US, and I filled the thing out, and a couple months later, this magically arrived at my doorstep. A couple of things that I like so far in not using it is I did pull out the user guide. That's all I've done. So there's a user guide. Hey, Rebecca from Maine. And it's really cute. And we'll look at it a little bit more. There's a little note in a card, and this card you can plant. I will, and so you can plant this. It's a seed card, which I think is really cool. Let me move this, back it up a little bit. I was filming another video. They have some other, like, they have lots of QR codes on things and a QR code on the box. And stickers. Okay. While that's not enough reason to buy a machine, it's still kind of cool. So I like that. I like that we have, and everything seems to be pretty recyclable on, so here it tells you their big thing is you can make milk in 3 minutes. What you cannot do is heat things up. So again, there's a workaround, and I may try this workaround for soy milk. They actually, because I'm like, I could cook a batch of soybeans in the Instant Pot, freeze it in the amounts I needed, and see how that works.
That's an idea.
Just as an idea, because I know some of you who want, like, I think it's Mona who wanted to make soy milk, but doesn't remember to soak the beans. And that would be maybe a way around it. So that would also translate into the almond cow, right? Because soy, you either have to cook it after you make the milk or before you make the milk. Soy has to be cooked, or you're not going to be happy. Your tummy's going to revolt. Oh, and let's see. Okay, Rebecca from Maine is here. One anti-venom. You'll be in your pajamas for another hour. I don't know how long I may. If I leave the house, I will put real clothes on. If I'm staying in the house, I think it's a pajama day. Oh, and Carol's having a sweats day in Western North Carolina. That's where I kind of want to be today.
Yeah, it would be nice there today.
Walking around downtown Asheville. Yeah, so. And hey, Diana, it's awesome to see you here. And TS says, nice to catch a Saturday live. I was catch yesterday's live because I was like, it's not Saturday, but I had to think really hard about it. Right?
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, maybe I'm not that behind without doing yard work. And oh, wow, it's 70 in Southern California. It's like going to be 70 again here.
Yeah, 72, I think they said the high is going to be, but it's always a little chillier in the house, I think, than it is outside lately. So
it's weird. Okay, so let's look at the box for a second. So you've got some things here. We have a QR code. And one thing, hey, Kelly from Syracuse. So that's where you can get the manual and everything. So if you guys haven't used a QR code before, you literally go to the camera app on your phone. You take a picture of this and it'll make these little woo, and a little link will appear. Sometimes you have to tap the code. Then you tap that, and in your browser on your phone, it'll open up this. And let's let them see that a little bit closer. Let's see if it's going to. Sometimes cameras will see the things on the phones. Yeah, you're not seeing it very much.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And so this says how to use, so I can click that. And these are all videos too. So I'm going to take that away now because we're going to talk about all the things. I will say this company has a bunch of short videos on recipes, on how to do everything, and even on here, right on the box, because I find this came in another box that I took it out of. And so having some of these things here, I feel like they're doing a really smart user interface. You remember, I really like the way Meomat does their kind of presentation to make it easier to get it out of the box, start using it. And then this is saying you can make milk with any grain or nut or seed. I don't know why that was so hard to say, but it really was, right? And then this one, because you can't see this and I can't see it until it's not made for the older people like me.
It's so like a really pale white brown.
And it's tiny,
and tiny little font.
Do you want to read kind of
Sure.
It's a 6-step process.
So it says, let's milk your plants. You want to unlock, fill up with clean drinkable water, and lock.
I gotta get some water while she's reading.
The water tank by clicking the button from the base of the machine. You add 1 scoop or 80 milliliters of ingredients to the blending compartment and make sure not to pass the max line.
You know what happens in a milk
when you pass the max line, don't we, Kathy?
No good things happen when you pass the max line.
You place the lid with the arrow pointing towards the insert sign.
Okay.
And twist it clockwise towards the lock
that's
side.
too much.
These are way detailed.
Okay,
I thought it
box. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like, boom, here's the thing, you're going to put some stuff in, you're going to do this. So
no, they really put a lot of detail so that before you even buy this, if you're looking at the box to try, you know how you go to the store and you're like turning the box around looking at stuff, you really get a great idea of what is actually going to be the process, because this tells you step by step in detail on the box. Like, I am not lying.
Hedron is here, yay! And
in detail.
And yeah, all the details. So
I'm bitty, like
they are very tiny. They are also in this really easy to read user guide. So that's where we're going to go with this, and I'll show you.
Which is a nice big font and is really nice and easy to use with nice pictures.
And it's in all the languages, so it looks like it's a giant thing, but really the English part is this big. So all this is different languages. But I do like their cute cartoon character. And I've not used the machine, so right now I'm just giving you first impressions as we go along. Thank you. I love these pajamas. They're a little big on me now, but I think that just makes them more cozy. And these are like my winter jammies I got last year. And Rebecca says it's the first time seeing this machine and didn't know it existed. I didn't either. One of you guys is actually
somebody sent. Actually, I think they might have sent something into the support chat about it, and or the support email, and I got that and passed it on to Kathy, and Kathy was like, yeah.
Let's see
what they got.
Because sometimes if places, the reason I said, let's see if they have an affiliate program, is not so much so I can get my $5 or whatever it is. I don't even know at this point. But oftentimes when they have affiliate programs, there's a place that we can sign up to get one to unbox on the video. So that's why that was our first sort of thing. So let's start taking some of this out. Again, this was on the very top. I always like to read just in case it's like, you need to soak your almonds for 75 hours or something like that. Oh, what does it say?
It says, let's go nuts.
Oh, cute. Let's show that.
On the top of the box.
Let's click the right camera. Let's go nuts, people.
Oh, and then it's so cute.
And there's the little Milky Plant guy. Okay.
All right. I love their cartoon character. Like, yeah. It's so awesome.
Okay, and it's packed really well. You guys see that?
Look at all the different nuts and seeds and stuff on the box. I mean, they really thought about their packaging.
I think it's definitely looks very cool. It looks like there's a bag.
Oh, I love a bag.
Okay, here we go. So I'm going to change cameras so we can, I don't think, well, maybe that'll work.
I'm going to hold the bag.
I think we need more than the bag. Okay, yeah, get that over here.
All right. Oh, it's a heavy one. It's hung on the...
And so this is a little bit like the chef wave, I think it is.
Stuff falling out everywhere.
It's okay. It's just a measuring cup. But again,
measuring cup.
If you're undoing this and you have this, you could put it in front of you over here to go through the directions. So all the milk makers come with a little measuring cup. This looks like about a quarter cup. So I'm interested. I thought this one, from looking at it and seeing the little bottle.
It's definitely bigger than the Nutter.
Yeah, it's bigger than the Nutter, the Archmira. But I was thinking this would be a competitor for it because I don't think it makes large quantities. Okay.
All right, ready?
And so a lot of recyclable packaging. Yeah.
A milk jug.
I know.
And it's glass, y'all.
Yeah. So, and see how it's smaller than, like, that's why I think this will be, I think it's about 2 cups. And I'm going to do one of us will do a quick rinse of this. Probably Cheryl. I did all the dishes this morning. Thank you very much.
And she emptied the dishwasher. So that was awesome.
Lest it sound like I do nothing, but sometimes if I'll work 10 hours and then I'll be like, Cheryl, can you clean up the kitchen? But we do love a bag, and also that just makes it a little easier to transport things. I did notice also on the side of this, and I haven't researched this, so there's 2 things. One is 1% for the planet. Did you know you save 208 cartons a year going into landfills and oceans? We plant 5 trees with every machine purchase, 3 to offset the carbon footprint and 2 to give back to the planet. They also have this purple thing right here, and it says End of Life Recycling Program. And I need to look into that. But I suspect they take it back if something happens, like, and recycle the parts, like, because businesses have access to different kinds of recycling than we do. Mm-hmm. And you said, Cheryl, where Cheryl works, they do. You want to tell them about that?
Where I work, when computers get end of life, what we do is we work with a local company that actually refurbishes computers, actually teaches middle schoolers and high schoolers how to refurbish computers and how to put a computer together and things like that. When they go through that program, then they actually get to keep the computer that they made. So we donate a lot of our equipment that is end of life to them so that something can be redone with it. And for computers that can't be back to a usable condition, what they do is they pull the parts from them. So I suspect like Apple and any company that has an end-of-life program like these guys do, what they do is they take the machine back when it's done and you're no longer, it's no longer usable, and then they take what they can off of it and recycle things in a very nice manner.
But what you need to know right now is we're making a lot of assumptions. So I like to be very clear about that. I will look into it and see what I can find out. Rebecca's on the website now. If you see something, can you tell us? Yeah. And Tia said, I really appreciate the live unboxing because it shows how easy or difficult to start using a product. And
it is.
And it matters because especially, let's say you have bad wrists or bad arms. Was this light? Was this easy to get out of the box? You know, like some things you're expecting to be heavy, like the Breville, food processor, the bottom of that is really heavy.
You would think, like the ladybug that we looked at last night, you know, you would think that that would be super heavy, but it's really not. And it's nice because it has wheels and you can pull it around. But yeah, I mean, it just gives you so much more detail on what to expect whenever you just see it come right out of the box.
Well, and Cheryl honestly was feeling a little bad about yesterday because she's like, I feel like there's so much more I could have done. I'm like, we were just sneak peeking it. And so that's why I was like, do you want to just come and do this Milky Plant with me so that you can get a little more comfortable? Because the thing is with all the things I do, I'm really good with kitchen appliances. When it's not a kitchen appliance, and even some certain kinds of, yes, Kelly, this one is more expensive. So, and I said that to the beginning. So again, part of the reason it's expensive, it's from the UK. Even though they give you free shipping, I don't know how our exchange rate and stuff is doing either. And that's way above my pay grade.
Ooh, little feetsies.
Okay.
Make sure I didn't miss any feetsies.
Okay. So, and what she means by feetsies are little rubber things that.
Oh.
Here, let's put this. Feet. We'll do this camera.
Okay.
See?
Yeah, I'm gonna get little rubber feet. Go on the bottom to keep it from sliding around on the counter.
Which is especially helpful for anything that grinds and stuff like that.
It's not very heavy. It'd be easy to move it around.
Okay, let's see what this is.
Some more parts.
All right. Oh, this is the cleaning brush. And this is very interesting to me. So here, I'll show you. Okay, Milky Plant. It just comes out, I guess. No? Where do you open this thing? Here we go. There's a little thing at the top. Okay, so this isn't for making milk, but look at it has a brush that goes in and cleans it. So I'm very excited to figure out about this. This is different than all the other milk makers I have, and from what I saw with Chef Wave, which I haven't used it, I kind of felt like this was different too. Let's see. Rebecca says, I can tell you it appears a solid rig. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting because I think one of the reasons people want the Soy Bella or the Almond Cow is that it filters. This one filters and it cleans, and it looked like it was a fairly dry pulp. But just because anything new I'm going to clean, we're going to run some water through it. So we're going to run a cycle, like a cleaning cycle, like it's going to tell us in this user guide. And then we will make some milky milk or creamer. They had the cutest jars. Like they had one about oat milk and one about, well, they didn't say the whole word, but basically they say, we don't something with cows. So I will leave it at that for your delicate ears. But I thought they were really cute.
And this has a protective coat on it.
Here, show underneath here. So what is this? This is what goes in here.
Yeah, it's the little catch the drippage kind of thing that you see on a lot of appliances that is usually just silver. And so it is silver, but they have it protected with like that film that you get sometimes on new electronics and things like that, so that you can take that off.
Shiny.
It stays shiny and new.
And so it feels special. So now
it comes off super easy. Now it's all shiny.
In here, it's got a lock and a not lock. It's got 3 buttons. It's got a tank, and it's got this thing up here. So press to unlock. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I got to show you guys this. Okay. I'm just figuring it all out. I didn't watch all the videos like that. Here we go. I'm putting it on this camera. Okay, so there's this little button right here, because I was trying to figure out how we get this out. This is where you put the water in, and you press to unlock, and like, watch. See, it goes down in there, and it holds it down. That's cool. Okay. Why do I think that's cool? Is that this can't just be wiggling around and then water splashing out. It's really locked in there, and I like that a lot. So we're going to put some water in here, And it has two measurements, the max and the min, just like any other milk maker. And I'll show you. I think you'll see it better here. Maybe you won't, but it's like here and here. You can even feel them. So that's kind of cool. I know one of the things, Real is a member of our community that is visually impaired. So having this written out means that she can feel it. We'll see about the buttons. So far with the milk makers, they've been kind of a no-go for her.
Yeah.
So and this is just, I'm using our reverse osmosis water just cause. And we'll put it in min. And let's see if that makes a whole thing or not. I'm jumping the gun because I haven't even read the instructions, but I'm feeling myself. So
and apparently so is Fergus.
Fergus is over there doing some stuff, so we can slide this back in. And then I'm going to click this. And now it's locked in.
Ta-da.
That's pretty
nice.
That's pretty cool. We got to take the little thing off of that. All right, now I'm going to read the instructions like a grown-up person for at least 5 minutes.
It's a rarity to see her actually look at instructions. So,
and I'll show you here. So there's things like it gives you all the parts. I really like the way this is laid out. I like that this is a big font. How to use it. Where does the pulp go? How to clean it. How to deep clean it, which is what the instructions we're going to follow, pretty much. And this is the other thing I really like. These are 3 error codes. So what happens is someone gets a new machine, it throws an error code, and you don't know what's going on. And I find that I talk a lot about that, so then we've got those. So I feel like that's really smart. So like E1 will appear if the water tank isn't locked in. So if I hadn't clicked the lock, that's what I would have gotten.
That kind of sounds like the Arc Mira, the lid's not on all the
right,
way.
And everyone gets the Arc Mira or some of the other smaller milk makers, and when the lid's off and it's plugged in or turned on, it goes, hey, this is the lid, and everyone freaks out. E2, the sieve has not been properly attached. I like the way these are separated out. E3 appears when the sensors from the machine are covered, which are in here. I did see a video, so they said that sometimes if you do, let's say 2 or 3 milks in a row, the sensor in there might get a little bit covered up, and you can literally go in and wipe it off and still keep using the machine.
Oh, wow. So you don't have to like clean it completely between each batch. You can just keep making a batch.
Yeah, I would say within reason, because any machine, it can overheat because it's
like you're not going to start making milk and then leave it till tomorrow because you're going to use it again. You're going to clean it after that kind of thing.
Yes, yeah, and it is so Rebecca's. Was it Rebecca? No, Kelly. Kelly, it is self-cleaning, and we're going to use the self-cleaning cycle first. Then we're going to make our creamer. Why? Because I just got this, and it creeps me out if I don't at least run water through it.
Yeah, it does. Like everything. Everything comes in this house. It gets washed somehow or another.
There was a pandemic. I think that should go without saying, but I did it before then too. Some of not only was it made in a machine shop, parts of this, and my dad was a machinist. So, that's metal filings or different things could be just accidentally around and things. The other thing is something could have gotten knocked loose just in shipping. Maybe they sent me the most perfect machine ever. What is that?
Oh my gosh.
What does that say?
It says, the Milky Plant designed in London with love. This machine contains patent pending technology, and it's actually like
it's raised up.
It's raised up and built onto the machine. Oh my god, that is so cute. Built in London with love.
Yeah, I like their vibe. Hopefully, I always want to like the stuff when I like their vibe. Like I was very happy that Miomat. Like I really love the Nutter vibe, but I feel like the Nutter is too expensive and doesn't give a good enough. Well, I think it gives a better warranty now, but I found this weird Arc Mira that is made by no one, has solidly lasted us, and I do all kinds of stuff in it all the time. But I know people are asking me to do the Chef Wave, and it was going to cost if they'll send me one, I'm happy to do one. So if you guys are watching this, you have a milk maker, and it's not just a little soy milk maker that may or may not work well, because I'm not gonna sugarcoat any of this. Mm-hmm. But we can see, and I will tell you what I think is better. So if you've got a really good milk machine, come contact us. All right, so how to deep clean it. So they do have some powder, but they didn't send me any that you can use for deep cleaning. So we're not going to be doing that. But this should give me...
Was it attached to the box somewhere? Should we look?
No, it wasn't. It's something you buy extra.
Oh, okay.
So it says run it without ingredients with the cleaning brush. Okay, so let's see where I need to go. Do I need to come over here? Yeah. How to use it. Unlock the water tank and fill it up to the max line. I just did min line because I'm going to pour all of it out. So add ingredients to the blending compartment. So let's look at the blending compartment anyhow. Okay, and this has two little... What is that? I don't know what that is, but it comes off, whatever that is. Maybe that's part of the recycling thing. So this turns and opens. This is my first time looking at it.
No, that's vents.
Oh, it's vents.
See, they're vents.
They're vents. Interesting. I wonder when you'd need to use it. I don't...
Or is that where the brush attaches to? No.
I think that, well, give us a minute. Give us a minute. So I want to look at this. This is quite a large as far as blades go. Let me grab the arc mirror real quick.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's acting like a mid-size.
Yeah.
At least up there. I don't...
Oh, and I do see, if you can see right here coming out from the sidewall right here are some of the sensors.
Yeah.
You can see those built right in.
Okay, so you can kind of see that. Let's put it about the same. But it's probably almost twice as long, at least a third longer, the blades.
That's as big as a creamy blade.
It's close. Yeah, it's close to as big as a creamy blade. This is a little bit wider. So that's interesting. And we'll see. I might have to read the manual to figure out where some of this stuff goes. So this is where you would add your ingredients. There's not a min-max. Oh, yeah, there is. There's a max line. It's hard to see. And it's, I don't know, 1/4 inch from the bottom. It's quite low. You feel right down there.
Yeah, the blade is right at the top of it.
Yeah, so it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, that's good, because then you know you can't just like pile this whole thing full of ingredients.
You'd think so, but we'll find out. We'll see what we do. We're going to play fair, so we don't need to put anything in there. There's also, the lock is up a little bit, and the insert is here, so it is up a little bit. It's not in Braille. There is a couple of indented circles and things like that. So,
but you would be able to feel.
Yeah, and one of the things I want to show you guys this. So this lid has a little arrow, and so it kind of tells you where to do, and it shows that it's locked. That's what that's there for. Okay. Now, this has a lock and an unlock, so the thing I may have to read about is, do I have to click anything to? Can you? Because that says unlock. Yeah. But it doesn't seem like it wants to move.
Yeah. I feel like maybe...
Here, let me look at the real manual. Here, will you open your phone?
Yeah.
Because it does say, remove the silicone cap from lid and rinse both parts. Run the Milky Plant without ingredients. Remove the brush and filter cup. Because like the filtering sieve in there is where where did I just put where is the brush?
It was
just here.
It was just there.
I know, right, Joanne? I need another toy. Yeah, it looks like a Vitamix blade, and some of it's
here. We were going the wrong way.
We were going the wrong way because that says unlock that way.
But see, it's got the double arrows, so it means lock, unlock, back and forth. So
okay, I'll show you what I was talking about. Okay, so she's saying this means lock or unlock. I see that this way, turning it this way unlocks it, and turning it this way locks it, but we found it was the opposite. So here's the little center part, and this, I believe, comes off. Just gotta figure out how to get it off. It looks like it moves. Okay. See, Cheryl will feel very. I see it. Why won't it? I don't think it just pops off. That's not going to do it.
Let me look.
See if you can do it. Here, I guess we could also watch how to use Milky Plant. Let me go to the Milky Plant site and I'll show you the video that I'm going to watch. And some things are super easy and some things you have to figure them out. And it's okay either way. So Milky Plant, if I come over here and go to About, I don't want to meet the team. I also am not using the QR code that they gave me. Fresh milk in minutes.
It does look like it should.
I see how it should move. Okay, let's look at their YouTube, because I think that's where we'll find it. And I've been watching some of their videos. They're quite good. And I think they're fairly new. Okay, let's see how to make almond milk. Let's see if I will look up clean. See if they have a video. Okay, how to clean it. And then I think what I can do.
I see how it should go.
Let's see. I'll wait till the commercial's over so you don't have to see the commercial. Okay, don't I just move this over here? No. Kind of. Okay, I'm going to watch it and then we'll just, because let's go back. Okay, so I'm watching them. They're taking the thing out. And they're just easily and effortlessly turning the top, and it's happening. All right, then. That's what I was expecting too, but let's see. And again, you can see in here that it needs to turn this way.
Yeah.
I got it to move just a tiny, tiny bit.
I feel like it, almost like it should be squeezed somewhere, to get over the...
I don't know. I'm going to warm it up a little bit because it is a little bit cooler. And I'll see if I warm it up a little bit.
It's a mystery.
Also, that'll clean it a little bit. The filter feels pretty movable, but there's not going to be any blades coming in contact with it.
Right. One of the things I do want to mention with this, I have fairly good sized hands, and I had to put my whole hand around it when I did the lock unlock. So if you have smaller hands, we'll have Kathy try it and see how she does with the size of this, because she has way smaller hands than I do. She wears kid sized gloves.
See what you can do with this. See if that loosened it up at all. because this could be kind of an issue. And it could be just like the Ninja Creamy, that deluxe. Remember, I couldn't get it out, and I was like, whoa! And then I realized I was trying to do it the wrong way. But I'm going to see. I know. Gadgets are fun. Oh, good. TS says you can send it back at the end of its life, and they will reuse and upcycle parts. Shipping for return would probably be very expensive, though. Yeah, because it's in the UK. If it works out well, did you get it?
I had to get a grip on it. Yeah. So
okay.
Now.
Okay. Oh no.
I just want to make sure it's still.
I know. Well, I wanted to try. Okay. Okay. So that first one, I can do it now too.
Make sure it snaps.
Oh, okay. So let me show you what Cheryl is talking about. I'll get there. So what we were having trouble with, you can see that this goes out that way. And so once it's opened, evidently it's now I can do it pretty easily, but that isn't all the way there. It's close, and then it snaps. I don't know if you heard that. Okay. So you also did not find where I put
the brush.
The brush.
Oh, the brush fell on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, that's good because
I go rinse that.
Well, okay. I'm like, so I think it is just one of those things. So what I did is, because it's plastic, is I ran under some warm water. It's also had been sitting here in a very cold house, but it's obvious how this goes on and off. So, does it come out or does it just go in?
I think it goes in.
No. Trying to see how the brush goes in. I think. Okay, let's back to the movie. All right. Okay. So they're emptying it out. They're rinsing it. They have the brush.
Oh, wait a minute. The brush goes in here.
Oh, is that it?
The brush is for cleaning up in here.
Got it. Okay. So this went in here, right? The brush goes in here. Does it squeeze in? No, it just goes in. It just goes in like that. I guess that's how this goes in too. Yeah, it just goes in like
there.
It's loose, and that's okay. So put that in here. I'm going to finish watching this so I can make sure that I'm not messing any more stuff up.
This is good because this is the thing that would hang up people when they get it out of the box, right?
Okay, and you are not putting this top on. This top belongs to this. So when we're cleaning, we're just doing this. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we're going to put that up in here. And to me, the only thing I'm a little irritated with is I feel like the arrows are the wrong way. So, and actually you couldn't see that the way. It's hard to see this. So this comes out this way and goes back in. So it's to the right to close, to the left to open. So I guess that makes sense, but literally the arrows don't make, or where they put their stuff doesn't make sense. There is no,
well, I think it doesn't make sense because of the double arrow. It confuses you, I think, is the thing.
No. I'm not the only one, I think. So, okay, so Cheryl will wash this.
And you felt like you got that on there tight enough, like with your hands? I was concerned.
Would you like to? Yeah, no, I thought that was easy this time. So it could be just from shipping. It's a little bit and harder because now I can get it in and out. All right, so we've got the bottle that I washed, and it sits right in there. And then I'm going to read the rest of the directions, and I'll see if there's any questions too. Yeah, and it is a strainer. So what the part that Cheryl's doing, in fact, it strains the pulp out. So those of you, because like there's like a little flow chart, and I need to write this up. It's like how do you want to make milk every day, or you want to make milk once a week? Are you okay with straining pulp out, or are you not okay with straining pulp out? And so I'm very interested to see, this one not only strains the pulp out, but then it has a cleaning setting that looks like it would work a little better than some of the others, so in theory.
This thing is kind of like, what are those other ones that you have for the
fine mesh strainers?
Well, like a fine mesh strainer, or you have those ones that go with, I think, the Miomat that it sets in, or that part that.
Yeah, that's the almond cow.
Almond cow.
And that's why I was saying, yeah, so this is the strainer part of it. So we're going to set that aside for cleaning. Cheryl's going to plug this guy in. To clean, remove the filtering sieve. See, like, it's two different things about cleaning. Place the cleaning brush in the filter cup. Attach the filter cup back to the machine. Make sure drinkable water level in the water tank is above the min line. Okay, mine's just at the min line. Here, let me
plug it in.
Yeah, go for it.
Kind of has a short cord.
I'm gonna it's said to make sure it's above the min line, so I'm gonna just add some more water in there. Just because I put it just to the min line. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in there. I'm gonna click that button again. Okay. Place an empty bottle, glass, or bowl. And so, like, you don't just have to use this. If you had some other things, obviously it sits really well. I don't know if we had a shorter round one, that would work out okay too. All right. Hold the cleaning button, which I think is going to be this. Let's see what it says about buttons. Because I think there's the power button, the make milk button. Yeah, there we go. On, off. That's not helping you at all. Here, just move this on. This will move out more. No, move the whole thing out.
I'm trying. It's
okay.
You don't. There's too much stuff attached. That's as far as it goes.
That's great. That's all I need. Okay. So power, make the milk, make it clean. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to press the make it clean button and hold it for 2 seconds for the cleaning section to do. Oh, maybe I have to turn the, well, nope, now it's not on. Maybe it's because I took that off. So let's try it. Maybe it's because I took the tank out while it was on. Did we unplug the cord?
No, it's on. Let me try a different one. Maybe it's time to replace this.
No, it works fine.
Nope.
Okay, just give me a second. Okay. All right. Is it because we don't have it on? Is it because something isn't locked up the way it needs to be locked up? Feels locked to me. That's locked. Put this in just in case this. I think it has to be on to do any of the buttons. So, how to use it. Hold the start button for 2 seconds. Hold the start button for 2 whole seconds. Now we're going to hold the cleaning button for 2 seconds. Like 30 seconds. Half a second was all that one took. And Dan said, are they related to IKEA instruction writers? I think it's pretty good. So we're seeing it's just running water through the machine. And I'm doing that just to clean out anything.
It is super solidly built.
Yeah, it feels, and it's got like actually right up here, you guys can't see from the lights, it's saying 24, 23, 22. It's counting down right there. And that's the spinning part that actually breaks down things.
I would say the sound level is like on par with the Miomat or
yeah,
the Nutter or the Arc Mira.
Okay, and so it gave me a beep to let me know it was done. So that's kind of cool. I'm not sure if you could feel which button is which, but there is some amount of that. I don't know if I just pressed it again or not by accident.
Oh, it's just draining.
Okay. What's it? I think we're going to overflow. I think I pushed it again.
Oh.
I pushed it a second time, so it's cleaned a second time. Do you want to pour that on the plants right outside the kitchen door?
Yeah.
And so this is its second cleaning cycle. And it may end up giving me an error because there wasn't that much water. But you can make a double batch and have something bigger that you hold. Okay. So as I was feeling the buttons to see if I could tell the difference between the drops of water, the plant, and the on, that's what happened. So I'm going to get some more water, and then we're going to try and make something and see what happens, and then we'll probably clean it too.
You tell everybody how happy you are that you don't have to like wait an hour to fill up your...
Oh no! So Cheryl changed our reverse osmosis tank because it was broken. That's what's over here is the reverse osmosis tank. And seriously, like now I can fill up 4 cups of water just like that. It's like magic.
And before it was taking like
30 or 40 minutes. And I was doing a soup class, so like seriously, it was like, so okay. Yeah.
Jug's all dry.
It's okay.
Well, I guess that's why they got the little dripper there.
Yeah, so some more is still dripping out, and that's okay. I'm gonna just rinse it out. What you drying off? We don't need
just like, you know.
We don't need to dry off the water container. So I'm just gonna put max water in here. Okay. So the thing we do know we have to do is in between the settings, we have to change the brush, right? So I'm clicking that. So now that's in really good. You want to, Cheryl wants to wipe up some more stuff.
Well, it's, you know, it's just splashing around and it makes me, kicks in my clean drive. All right.
Okay.
Oh, this guy, I tried a little.
All right, so we're going to take this top. Well, actually, first we're going to take this off, which now I can get off. We're going to take the cleaning brush out of there and let that water just drip on in there. Okay. Oop. Let's see. This might be better from this angle. So there's a little pin there, and I'm going to get that there. And we actually, first, I should put this lid back on there.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay, so get it where it's lined up like that, like when we took it off, and then turn it to the right.
So it clicks.
There you go. You got to do it hard. Okay, and now we're going to put this back under here. And in the front, there's a little open close. It's just the open and the close are in the wrong places.
For you.
No, but who would turn towards the unlock icon instead of the lock icon to lock it?
Well,
it's not a good...
It's true.
Okay. Can you do it? Of course. But when it comes to user interfaces, I want to be real specific because if it's something that's backwards for me, it's probably backwards for someone else.
Yeah.
And I would have spent a lot more time because you're more willing to just try the opposite thing. And I'm like, but no, it should be this way. You know, I have done some more with the Nutri-Milk, and I did a big milk making class a month and a half ago that's on the YouTube.
Yeah.
We streamed it live, but it streamed kind of funny. But I do like it. I just don't always make as much. But I think it's good, it's solid, I need to do a demo with the smoothie bowl. So that'll probably come up soon. So seriously, I have a giant pile of stuff that we need to demo and see what's going on. And thanks, Vegana. It is kind of stylish, right? As things from countries that are not ours often are. Like, I love UK design. European design is also often, I'm sorry it's in a little weird angle, but we have only so much to work with. It's a learning curve, but you know, here's the thing, there's always a learning curve. If I got a second machine like this, then it would just look like nothing, because now I know the things to start to check. But I think that what can be most frustrating is when you've got a new machine and you're trying to figure this out. And that's why I do this. So, you're here and I won't have a little meltdown. And that's helpful for all of us, especially Cheryl.
Well, and I think it's really important too, because every time that we've done an unboxing or that she's done an unboxing and we run across things like this where it's a little hard to do this or a little hard to do that, or you have to actually look at the instructions to figure something out, it always helps somebody down the road. Right. Down the road, somebody's going to get one and then they're going to go, oh, Kathy did that video. Let me go look at it. And then you're going to see all the things that we did, and you're going to know what not to do when you get yours.
Right. And always learning. Perfect. How did it overflow if you used just over medium? Because I pushed clean twice. So I ran 2 cycles.
Yeah.
So it was my fault. It was, and it's not really off topic. Like, we're just hanging out doing things. It does make pulp. And it looks like really good pulp on the video. So we're getting ready to find that out.
Yep.
Yeah, the UK does have neat stuff, doesn't it?
Agreed.
Okay, so this is probably, I've got a 2 tablespoon, and I think that it's bigger than that. So I thought I would and we'll just do cashews. We can do oats too, but let's just make it easy. So this is 2 tablespoons of cashews. I think it's 3. Which is what I typically put in my Arc Mira, actually, because I like it a little bit creamier, a little bit thicker. And I've got a couple of medjool dates that we're going to put in there. I have watched a video where they did this and a date. I'm putting 2 dates in. And then what I was thinking is I have some vanilla extract, and we'll put the vanilla in after in the bottle and shake it up. So I don't want to lose any of my vanilla in there in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like you about need some more vanilla.
I do. This was a big bottle of vanilla from last year. Oh, and you use the soy bella. And I have the soy bella too, and it's great. There's nothing wrong with any of these. So again, this doesn't heat. So it's more like the almond cow. So that's just, or the Nutri-Milk. Those are 3 that don't heat. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, use the soy bella, right? I think to do all that. All right, so now we're going to open this up.
Hydron uses the Nutri-Milk, I think.
Do you use Nutri-Milk or Hey, Abby. Okay, so you can see the water in here, and that's fine. We're going to put our 50 milliliters, which I thought it was interesting they're using a wet measurement for dry, because my friends in the UK, you get testy with me about that. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is just 2 medjool dates. They're pretty soft. I could possibly just use 1. I may be pushing it with the machine to use 2, but let me see if I can just at least get it cut open a little bit more than that.
That looks like 3, or is it
cut
in half?
They're cut in half.
Okay.
And we'll see how that all works out. And also that means there'll be sweetened pulp as well. So that's something else to know. So The arrow goes towards insert and then to lock, and it made a noise to let me know it was locked. Okay, so now I'm going to put my little thing in here. I'm going to press on for 2 seconds. That is new and a little uncomfortable.
There was something you were doing the other day, and I said you had to hold it on for longer, and you were like, why? And it was the on and the off is the same button, and it makes you crazy. It makes you crazy.
I don't think it's a good user interface. And can you guys sort of see if I... Yeah, you can if I do that. See how this is where the seconds count down. I'll try and do something like that. Okay, now this time, it's our first time clicking the Milky Plant button. Do I have to click it? Hold the start button. It just says to hold it. It doesn't say how many seconds, so I'll hold it till it starts. And see, it's giving me a time. 37, 36, 35. And we'll see what this looks. This bottle came with the machine, and in fact, if you go to Milky Plant, you'll see the other two. I think one is like Oat Goodness or something. Let me go look. Nope. Go one more. Go one more. I'm going back. I'm speedy, y'all. So the ones that they have, and I won't say the other one, yeah, but one says, "Oh my goodness," like, "Oh my goodness," which you know I like. And then the other one says, in other words, "You don't mess with cows." So if you're Gen X and beyond, that might be a bottle for you. If you know, but I kind of want, the bottles are expensive though. They show up as $26 each.
Yeah.
And then there was some shipping because I was thinking of getting them for some, because they're cool. But I'm going to see if I can find a similarly sized bottle that'll fit in there. The Milky Plant right now is on sale. It's saying in US dollars for $367. I can, I'll show you what I'm looking at. Oh, you can't even see it. Get me out of there. So, and that's what it is on sale. So it is more expensive. Part of it is because it's not in the U.S. And then they have some sort of, can I get from here now? They have some mugs, and then they had, ooh, actually I'm missing something super important. Let me get back over here. There. Okay. Woo! Buying time, see, look, it's putting out some Milkies. And you can tell it's darker because that tells me the dates got blended in pretty well.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any kind of like floating, any kind of chunks or anything.
Any kind of debris or anything. Let me grab the lid.
Pretty impressive so far. Looks great.
And then we'll take a look at the pulp and stuff. Oh, I love this. Linda says I use my Berkey glass water bottles for storing my plant milk. That's great. IKEA has some really good containers too. Oh, they give you a discount on top of the sale as a welcome gift. Oh, that's great. Do you know what the percentage was, Rebecca? And I think I need to check because I think I may have a code too. So I'll see if that's something we could add in there. Let's see what Carlene says. Hedron, where was that?
We're down to 0 there.
Yeah. It's really apparent to us. It's just because we have lights, so all these lights for filming. So it would be really easy. Let's see. I love Nutri-Milk. Yeah, and here's the thing, and we've talked about this before. I don't think any milk machines are wrong. I think it's the one that you can afford. Okay, it's got some little fluffy stuff on top, just like all the other nut milk makers. Smells good.
Let me smell.
You want to smell? Okay, I'm going to put about a teaspoon of vanilla because I really like to make London fogs. And I like them to be quite vanilla-y. And that's going to make it even darker. So just realize that when you're using dates and you're using real vanilla, it is going to be darker. And there is a couple of drips that just came out, but there's a little catcher tray. And this catcher tray, all of it comes out. Not just the silver part. Would you like to rinse that out? So I'm just going to shake this up a little bit. I didn't actually make any tea, but I will taste this. And you can do this with any kind of extracts or flavorings. Like one of the things I am going to be making soon, I don't know on which milk maker, I have some doTERRA peppermint oil from Elizabeth from the Chapel Hill plant-based pod. And I'm going to make basically a chocolate milk with that and make it a little extra rich. Oh, yours was a pandemic lockdown boredom purchase. That's awesome. I have those. Yeah,
we have quite a few of those actually.
We do. And so then what we'll do is we'll clean this too. But let's take a taste. Let me get a little glass, I guess.
Hey, CJ had said earlier that she had trouble getting her treadmill out of the box because of how heavy it was and stuff. I was like, oh, that first treadmill that we bought, we had to bring it up the stairs.
And that is no joy. It is not a big, wide staircase. It's so I'm just going to pour a little in here.
I had to take it apart in pieces and bring up what I could carry at a time because it was so heavy. So when we got the updated treadmill, we just let them come install it.
You can see, and let's see if you can. There's just a tiny bit of sediment, but I don't know if I can move it so you can see it. So we'll drink this and show you. But it's really good. It's very little sediment in there. Also, I use cashews. So there's going to be very little sediment anyhow. Yeah. But and this is because I'm just...
And that sediment looks like little just date, yeah?
Yeah, it's probably because dates are going to be whatever it is. All right, so...
But you can't feel the sediment. Like, it's not sediment like you feel it when you drink it.
It's not thick. It's just a little bit of really thin.
It's just like... It's almost like if you're looking at vanilla when it has the...
Oh, the vanilla beans. The
little vanilla bean flake.
But we didn't put vanilla beans in it, so it's a date. And that's okay, but I mean, so like, yeah, you can see it. I think you'll be able to see it now. Like, I'm being super picky. Do you see just a little bit of that? That's almost nothing. And I think it is almost from the dates.
Yeah, it's definitely from the dates.
So that's one of my concerns when you're looking at using something else.
Just get a plate out, dump that stuff.
Yeah, and so this actually, I think this is a good idea, and I would do this next time because there was a little bit of stuff. I'm going to put this back in here. I like the way it works pretty well to keep everything clean. Will you fill the tank up a little bit past men so we can clean it again? No, I just put water in there. I think it'll need a little more water than we have there, though. Yeah. She doesn't trust me. Okay. I use Gizine, a Japanese brand, but no pulp, though. It does heat up. That's great because I do love soy milk. So, again, we're just talking about all these different things, and I will have to find something to put under here for it to... I think it's about 500 milliliters. I think it's about 2 cups. Deanna says, I'm only in love with the bottle. And I bet you can get some bottles like this on Amazon. I'll check it out. I think I've seen some bottles like this, and I may have gotten some at Target in like the $1, $3 segment. So if I can find those, I'll see if those work too. Mm-hmm. Ooh, a hydroponic garden tower.
Oh, nice.
That sounds very cool. Let's get a glass that will fit under here. Like maybe a pint glass,
Okay.
I think would work really well. Okay, so let's take a look at this part. Okay, so I'm going to just sit this here and see how it has a few little droplets, and I'm just dropletting them in.
Actually, I think this athletic one would fit good.
Okay. We've got
because of the size of the base.
Okay, yeah, that's going to work great. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start cleaning, and then we'll look at this pulp at the same time. So I've taken the part that that's filtered out, putting the brush in here, possibly, and I'm putting that in here. Putting a glass underneath.
You feel like your hands can grab that over?
Yeah, no. Okay. Like once it got loosened up, it's been fine. The first time was like, also I was turning it I was turning it towards the unlock, which is the locking.
Right.
Feelings. Have all the feelings. Okay, so we got to press start again. And now we're going to press the cleaning button. And then we'll look and see how clean it gets too. Okay. And I do like the idea if it just fits in this little bottle, because this will fit in your fridge really nicely. And while it's doing its thing, and this is the same thing, so we just use cashews. So cashew pulp is really, you know, there's not a lot. But usually cashew, and there's the dates. You guys can see the dates in there. So it held the dates and the cashews just fine. So I could use this in a dog treat. Like I actually freeze some stuff. I could put this in a Ninja Creamy pint. I could save some of these in ice cube trays for another time. But I think it did a fantastic job. This is thinner, finer than probably what my fine mesh strainers would strain out. So I didn't feel like Almond Cow did that much more, but maybe this is a little bit tinier. Okay, and here we go. Let's come look at this too. Is Cheryl drinking it?
No.
Okay, you can drink it because there's no soap or anything, but that's...
You see how cloudy it is? And then you can see little bits of, like, a little bit more of the flakes of the dates in there.
And I've got most of this scraped out so I could freeze it in something or use it again. It's probably about 2 tablespoons, because once everything gets mushed together. I'm going to rinse this because this looks like it would rinse really well. The top sure did.
I'm going to dump this out and run it again.
I think that's great. You may need a little more water because I think it's not quite at the minimum. Okay, I just want you guys to know that all I did was rinse. I didn't even like wipe it except for what you saw here, and it's cleaned perfectly out again. It was really easy. So I like that a lot. What I would do is I would set this to the side and let it dry all the way before I would put it back together or anything. And I can do that here. And we're just going to, I'll take this over here. We're going to put it back together. And just run through one more time, and then we'll look at the inside of the machine again and see how that looks from cleaning. Because I know with the Soy Bella and the Almond Cow, and I can bring over one of those screens too. I think I have one just over here to the side. Yeah.
I'm just wandering around. Wandering through the kitchen. I was just like,
That's the way life is. I mean, it's pretty thin. I think it's pretty comparable.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
I think the holes are about the same size. But I think what happens, so see there, these holes in those? This is made of much sturdier metal, but the actual chopping happens inside of here. So it needs to be sturdy. This is just straining the liquid that has been blended up in the top. So it doesn't have to be as strong, but I would be just very careful with it. It is a little more delicate.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it.
Yeah, this is cool. I could use this one.
Okay, well then why don't you clean it?
So I will turn the power on. And then I'll hold the clean.
Yeah.
And then up here.
It's that. Well, they can't see that. You have to put it towards the camera. Ah, damn it. Oops. I'm so sorry, you guys. That was an accident. If you're mad at me, put your name below and I will apologize a lot harder. Otherwise, I will just pretend it never happened. Evidently, I need to not touch any buttons while things are happening.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not good at that. Linda says, does appear to have a smaller footprint and would take up less space. Yeah, this would take up less space than the Nutri-Milk. I think it might be slightly smaller than the Chef Wave, but I've not seen it in person, so I don't know for sure.
Here's a milk.
Well, that's the small arc mirror.
Right, but I'm just saying it's like the same width right through there.
Yeah, so it's actually not very large. It is tall. It would fit under my cabinets.
Well, it's fine. That's what it did last time.
Okay. I'm just feeling a little nervous.
Nervous about it.
Because yeah.
I was nervous too. That's why I went and got the other thing.
Okay, so it's done. And let's go. Why don't you go ahead and toss that out?
Yeah, but, and you see this one is much more clear.
Yeah. And they do have on their website a powder you could put through. I'm assuming it dissolves very quickly. You probably could put a drop of I just forgot what the name of our cleaner is.
Branch Basics?
Thank you. You could probably put a drop of Branch Basics and then rinse it twice. And you don't have to use filtered water. We just do. We're on well water.
I'm going to go ahead and unplug it so we can look on the inside.
Okay, that sounds good.
So we don't touch any buttons?
Okay, that sounds real good, actually. Abby says she would be interested in comparison since I make my cashew and oat milk in a very primitive way, blender and handheld sieve. Would like to make more milk and at a time clean less. Now this one makes less milk. It's only making about 2 cups. You can make about 4 quarts in 4 cups or a quart. In the Miomat, Soy Joy, there's another soy one, and the Almond Cow. Nutri-Milk can make even more. Nutri-Milk can make 8 cups. So that's one of the places that you kind of decide. I need to make a real chart. Yeah, it would definitely fit under our countertop.
Yeah.
Now, will it fit under yours? They'll give a measurement.
Miomat. Let's see. It's.
Yeah, because I made some soy milk in the Miomat because I'm doing some yogurt experiments. So it's just a little bit taller than the Miomat, but
but not by much. It's about the size of
5 inches, maybe.
I would say it's about the same height as some of the automatic coffee makers.
Or the Ninja Creamy.
Or the Ninja.
Here we
go. The Ninja probably a little taller.
I think it's pretty darn close. And it's pretty darn close. It is a little taller.
Yeah.
But so if you have that and it fits. I don't know how big the Chef Wave is in comparison. So there's that. Thank you. My lovely assistant will take that and move it. Let's see what else we've got. The machine's tempted. The counter space will be too much of a commitment. And I totally get that. She has a New York size kitchen in New Orleans. Well, there's some small places in New Orleans. I live there. And I think something like the Arc Mira, if you're wanting to make milk every day, that's smaller. And it's not that much of a cleanup. But I know that's a stopping factor for some people. And when I saw how this worked, I was very curious about trying it. Also, I like the idea of just
That'll fit in the fridge so much better.
And we can make a couple of creamers and have a few different creamers for things. Okay, let me see what... Nutri-Milk is pricey. You get a lot more for it than this one. Absolutely. And it just depends on what works for you. To me, there's not a bad one or a good one. It's what's the right one for you. She's
trying to figure out how to get it off.
Okay.
I can't get it off.
Yeah, you can. You come. That's the lock. That's the unlock.
Oh, I didn't do it.
You didn't go all the way around.
See, this one's really like you gotta click the one thing. You gotta make sure you click
this. Let's look in here. So how clean is it? It's really clean. Like, I wouldn't come back and do anything over this. I don't see any little bits of dates. Cheryl, you want to look at...
The lid's real... I was just looking at the lid, and it's real clean,
and the lid looks really clean. I would expect the lid, too, unless something got really thrown up in there, but nothing's stuck in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looks super clean, like somebody scrubbed it.
Yeah, no, that's impressive. Even the blades and stuff are really super clean.
And there is a little bit of water in there, so I would, if you pour it this way, it'll come on out. And so I would probably make sure to do that. I would leave this off for a little bit and let it dry. So let's go down a little further. And then we'll take this out and clean all of this. So we'll take this part out. And get it this time.
Hold it still.
There we go. And then this looks perfectly clean. And we saw, even just from rinsing off ourselves, this one, nothing really, it just needed a rinse.
Yeah.
So the only thing left to kind of do after that is I would take a cloth, and get some drips, because you just don't want to have to deal with them when they dry on. Take this out, rinse this.
I would rinse this.
Really, you wouldn't need to rinse the water container.
That's true. Maybe just
we're being a little more funny because we just got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna rinse it this time, but I think like for next time I would just take this out and maybe just run the towel through it so that it, is dry before I seal it back up in there.
And I'm just wiping off any little bits of water or drips that might be somewhere. There's a little bit in this clicky thing. Get some of that up. There we go. So I think all in all, it's pretty successful. Now, if it's right for you or not is the next question. So my first question is this right for anyone ever? And I would say yes. I could see if you want to make smaller amounts of milk, if you're wanting to make 1 or 2 quarts at a time, not for you. Okay? If you're wanting to make soy milk and cook the soy milks in there or make warm lattes or cocoa, not for you. This falls in the almond cow category as far as that goes. If you're okay with all those things but you just need more, then maybe you want the almond cow. I like the Meomat more than the almond cow because it does more things. But I am going to try some soy milk, possibly in some other containers and this one, by cooking the soybeans first. And I'll try and put that recipe out there because that would work in the almond cow or the Nutri-Milk as well. So let's see what else we've got. And it's one of those things, one is going to feel more right for you than others. Now, because normal people don't need as many milk makers as I have. I got them because I was trying to pick one out and I was frustrated with the information. So every time I go to see a comparison, it'd be someone who's just a seller on Amazon telling me these are the 3 I should buy, but not telling me why, not showing me what the differences were. And that's how this all began. So you can see videos on the Nutri-Milk, you can see videos on the almond cow, on the Nutter, on the Archmira. I feel like there's something else, but there's not. And if you're happy making your milk, if you make almond milk, honestly, and you're using your Vitamix, and you want to make big batches, you don't need to buy anything else. So there's all different things. So like, I love soy milk. And that's why I like making it in the Meomat a lot. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm getting, oh good. Okay. I try to temper my, I apologize for using my dog's middle name. That's awesome. Okay. I'm glad you like that. Because I know some people are just terribly offended by that kind of language. So I really do my best. But this year now, actually
twice. That's been twice?
Twice. I have not done it in the entire time I've done videos, like what, 5 years? This is the second time I've cursed. When I actually made a tsunami of water go over the oven, and that was the beginning. It was like October, the beginning of October, during a class, and I did say pretty much the same word. And you know, for 2 cups, that's a lot of stuff and material to clean, and I think that's a valid point too. It kind of did everything on its own. We're just being a little special because it's new. Like, if this wasn't new, we'd be like, oh, I know that got cleaned, and I just open things up and let them air out. But with all the machines, there is an amount of cleaning. Like when you make soy milk, you have to clean more intensely because the okara does stick onto the metal. These are another thing to think about is this has plastic. So if you're like, I only want my milk to touch stainless steel, this also might not be for you. But
I like it.
I think it's a fun toy for me. And I think that Cheryl will make some creamers.
Yeah.
And this is the time that we drink a lot of tea and more warm beverages. So I could see myself going between making stuff here to put in warm beverages and using my Archimera to make warm beverages. So I can make a London Fog in there instead of making a creamer. I can put like a teaspoon of Earl Grey tea, 2 tablespoons of cashews, those 2 dates, water to the max, put it on warm, which cooks for 5 minutes, which is, I like my tea strong, so that works. A lot of the Asian soy milk makers, the small ones, they may not have that button. Okay.
I like it. Like, as the person who tends to clean up these things, I like the ease of cleaning on it. But yeah, for this amount, this is perfect for the 2 of us.
Right.
This is perfect. Get up Saturday morning. Let me make something so we can have our tea kind of thing. Super easy. And
unlike the Archimera or some of the others, it doesn't have a delay setting. So with the Archimera, I can literally put in all the London Fog stuff and we can wake up to tea ready to strain.
But you know, the thing is, I feel like those take long. Like if we're just doing it on the fly, I feel like some of those machines seem to take a lot longer.
Well, okay, valid point. From start to finish, the almond cow and this are going to take less time, but they're not heating. So when you're using a heating mechanism, it's going to take longer to get hot, cook, and do that. And so when we're also asking the Archimera, we're going, hello, little Archimera, cook this for 5 minutes. So that even adds into the time.
Okay.
And Joanne says she still likes her baby Archimera, and I do too. And lately, this has been as low as $60. And this was like, what, $350. So the way I look at this chart, so the first question is, do you want to make soy milk and hot beverages? And if you're like, I don't care about any of that. Okay. So then we go down with the other things, right? And so that you can use and again, I still think with oat milk, because you can put a little ice in there. It's super cheap. I use fine mesh strainers because I just made some soy milk. They're in the sink.
Okay.
And Joanne gave me the idea of just putting 3 of the strainers inside of each other. If you bring me all 3, and then I have a little bar strainer if I'm just using the Archimera and making us like a mocha. Like I could use cold brew coffee instead of part of that.
Rinsed out better, but
okay. So see, I just pile them up in here, and then I just pour my soy through from the Mia mat. And it makes it a little bit easier. And Always Learning says, I love my Mia mat for soy milk, Nutri-Milk for everything else. And I would believe that you can, if you cook soybeans first, you can make it in the Nutri-Milk or the almond cow or the Milky Plant. I have not tested how easy and if it turns out differently. So I'm curious to do that. And I love the Mia mat. And I think we put that, the Mia mat is the one I recommend in general. And I think it's like the Soy Joya, not the Soy Bella, but it does pretty much the same thing. Did I put because it's got this little thing that comes off. But this also, both of these can make soups, teas, coffees, stuff like that. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. But when I had the opportunity, and I think this would be really nice for people who don't want to be bothered with like cleaning crevices and stuff like that. Rinse and go. If you're not, you can't, it'll be interesting to see with cooked soybeans if it sticks on quite as much. You are going to be looking at small amounts of pulp, but like I can freeze this in with some PB2. This is exactly what I'm going to do. Max has a little, we call it his licky ball. Licky ball. It's like from Woof. WOOF. And so we freeze these little balls. It gave us a little, basically, doggy popsicle kind of thing. So I'll mix some PB2 in there and maybe a little bit of non-dairy milk. And then he can get a little bit of extra fiber. I've put pumpkin in there for him too. Mm-hmm. Or I could just put it in an ice cube tray and I could add that to my oatmeal tomorrow. Right, so there are ways you don't have to waste the pulp, and that goes for no matter what you've made your pulp in. Begana says, I need a husband to clean off this stuff if I buy the machine, right? It wins pretty well. And Jack says, I just made my soy milk yogurt with my foamed over soy milk from my Mia mat. Oopsie, and came out great. Oh, awesome, because I just made soy milk in my Mia mat, and I got this cool Kilner thing for yogurt, and I have the rest. You guys can't see in my little Instant Pot. So I'm trying 2 different things with this. So fingers crossed it'll all turn out okay. And Vegana wanted to know, can we show us the lid? Absolutely. It has kind of a little gummy thing in there. It's more papery, so I don't know how long it's going to last. But it's not like silicone or anything like that.
Yeah, I would say this is a hand wash item, not a dishwasher item for sure.
Oh, and you know what? If it's rust. Oh, like rust, maybe?
Rust.
I'm thinking it's rust, like where the metal corrupts some and turns kind of a reddish color.
Orangey.
And so, and one anti-venom says my puffs have wolf balls too. I'm a doggy sitter. They're really great. And so if we say wolf, he doesn't know, but he learned licky really quick. Do you want your licky ball? Yes. And then we have some of the calming ones you can buy from them.
And then because Fergus always has to have everything that Max does, when Max gets his licky ball, Fergus is like, where's my treat? And so I don't know if you guys have seen those. Like there's a company called Churi, I think, is the ones that we started out with at the vet's office. But they're these little tubes of it looks like yogurt, cat treats, and then I'll squirt those out on a little plate for him, and then they both just go to town.
Yeah, they like having their treats together and their cookies together and all those things. And what I would do with the lid, Vegana, is I would hand wash it. I would not put it into, because I have some bigger liter bottles that have these metal caps for canning, and after a while in the dishwasher they get nasty.
Yeah.
Betsy says, I never thought about buying a milk maker, and it seems sacrilege to ask, but are they a lot cheaper than using something like Joy when I purchase ingredients? And there's no sacrilege. And here's the thing. So Joy, or JOI, is like either powdered oats that, and I haven't had the new ones where they just mix in. Or like basically it's really, really finely ground cashew butter or almond butter. And there's nothing wrong with that. I do find them a little more expensive, but I have not cost out the cost of the machine and ingredients. So I usually have a few different things, like rolled oats is something I use. These are slivered toasted almonds. Cashews, I try to get the cashew pieces. If you get more in bulk, or if you have a Sprouts, wait for that nut to be on sale. That's when I get my almonds, and I'll get like 3 pounds of almonds when they're half price. Like even right now I have some macadamias because last year someone asked me to make macadamia nut milk and I haven't. I don't know. Yeah, and so she's bringing over the other container. But I even have containers of seeds and stuff. So it depends on the material you're using. And there's nothing wrong with deciding you don't want one. That's perfectly okay. I wanted something to make soy milk in, which is how I got started on all this. But I would see this as something that someone doesn't feel super comfortable in the kitchen, doesn't really want to get bothered too much with stuff. I could see Cheryl. That would be Cheryl. I think this might be Cheryl's milk making machine.
I totally like this one.
Because it looks cool. It's kind of fun. You put the stuff in, it feels a little more like playing. Mm-hmm. And since it feels
a little bit more like a tool to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, but that doesn't mean it's the right one for you. But what we're doing, and I'll make some more recipes in a few of the different ones over the holidays. And just see what works for you. And if you have some questions about certain things, or there's certain things you're wanting to make, but like you can, just like in the almond cow, we could make turmeric ginger shots. But I would be wary. I've seen them do it. I would be wary if the turmeric will really stain things.
Yes, it does.
In the plastic. So I would be concerned about that. Mm-hmm. But like you could do, they did something with like apple, dates, and water. I think they made some kind of spice cidery something. So there's a whole bunch of recipes out there from them. Milky Plant.
Cool.
And let's see.
Maybe I'll get a little creative with the Milky Plant.
Oh, it is Rust in English. Okay, awesome. I guessed right. Also, it was not that hard. And Vegana says, can you freeze soaked soybeans so that you can add them directly to the milk maker in hot water? What milk maker do you have now? I just forgot. But this you wouldn't want to, something plastic you don't want to put hot water in. Like even though you're like, well, this is plastic, but it's also got a stainless steel interior, right? So it will heat up things. And you have to cook the milk at one point or another if you are using soybeans. So you either need to use soaked soybeans in a machine that heats it up, or use cooked soybeans, already cooked soybeans, in a machine that's not heating it up, if that makes sense. But you can totally freeze soaked soybeans, soaked cashews, soaked almonds, any of that stuff. So like if I put out my soybeans and then I realize I'm just not going to have time to make soy milk that day, a lot of times I'll just strain them and throw them in the freezer. It works great. But then I'm throwing them into the Mia mat, and I've thrown them frozen into the Mia mat, and it's been fine. Make sure it's something that has a really good motor. If it's something that just sort of okay, I would let them thaw.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And Betsy says, thanks. They just seem fun to use. And I think they are, but I will also say, I love a good kitchen tool. I always, even when I wasn't really doing what I do now, I would have I had a decent blender. I had a really old, not decent food processor. I had my slow cooker. Then I had another slow cooker. Then I had a mini food processor. I had a blender. And so this is before everything kicked off, but I really enjoyed using those. I enjoy using my slow cooker now and my Instant Pot. And for me, I like things that either make something fun. Like to me, this is going to make it fun for Cheryl, whereas this this doesn't seem fun to Cheryl.
No, because I've had to clean it too many times.
Clean the soy milk if it's sat for a little. Always clean it if you're making soy milk really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you've got the soy bella. Yes. Then you totally can. That's perfect. And sorry about that. You did tell me earlier. Do you guys have any questions? I'm pretty surprised at how well it cleaned up, how easy it was to clean out the basket, and how well it worked. Like I find when I use the almond cow, there's a lot of liquid in here, like a lot. So I need to let it strain and push it through as if I'm using a fine mesh strainer. And there's a little bit of liquid in here, but it's really, there's not that
Very
much.
Minimal.
And another thing you can do, especially if you're not putting date in there, if this was just cashew or almond, I can just keep it in a little bag and then I could dehydrate it. So this is usually done with a larger milk maker versus a small one, is that you can take all that almond pulp or cashew pulp, oat pulp even, you can dehydrate it and then grind it in your spice grinder or dry blender and make flour and use that. So to me, one of the benefits of making, however, it is easier for you to make milk. If like knowing that you have a really great strainer for your Vitamix, or knowing that you don't have to strain at all, that's between you and yourself.
But all those times that I say, oh, I wanted to make myself some soup or something like that, and we don't have any milk, and I'm like, we don't have any of the prepackaged milk things for me to open, I can come in here and just throw some cashews in here and just voila, in a few minutes have milk that I can mix in my soup to make it creamy.
Yes. And even though I've tried to teach her how to do that in the Arc Mirror, it's not fun for her. Mm-mm. So she's not going to remember it as much. So I will go over and put the stuff in the Arc Mirror and say, all you have to do is strain it. But this would work really well. So I would say this would be like a good bachelor-proof appliance.
Yeah, well, and the fact that it kind of does the straining and stuff for you, like the whole thing, like when I see you do the whole mashing everything through the strainers and all that,
hard.
I know it's not hard, but to me, it's just like, all that's so many extra steps that I just don't want to do. I just want to be able to just want the milk.
And that's why. So if you're like, I think like you, Kathy, and I don't understand why you would have these other choices, you found the one you want, is that I'm not only looking for me, I'm looking for everybody. And I think this makes it very accessible. I think if you were able to keep a jar of oats or cashews or something like that and just throw it in there, you've got your little measuring scoop. Just measure it, scoop it in.
I wanted to make oat milk later. Like I could just fill this up, right?
Yeah.
And I just...
Yeah. What I would do because when we say oat milk, usually what people mean is something made from oats that tastes like Oatly. And what happens is they use an enzyme that changes some things. So what I would do is fill up almost to the top and put about a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of cashews. So I put oat. I'll show you. We have a lot of milk in here. Well, I guess we'll be okay.
We don't have to make any more. I'm just asking.
Okay. So I'll show you guys how I would do this.
Because I know you just recently made some, so we don't need it yet.
Well, it's going to go. So I would fill it up about there with oats. Mm-hmm. And then I would come down. And I know everyone asks me about these jars, and I love them. And they're not easy to find. And then I would put probably about a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons. This will add some of that fatty feeling.
Oh.
And what happens, I think it's amylase is the name. I think I got it right that time. I probably didn't since I feel so confident. That enzyme goes and it actually digests some of the starches in the rolled oats and it turns into sugar. So that's why sometimes it tastes sweet even though there's nothing added. But there are 2 ways you can kind of make Oatly copycat. One is to use some coconut oil. Wouldn't recommend that in this machine because it's going to make a mess. It's not going to clean up really well. Also, most of us are whole food plant-based, no oil, so adding coconut oil isn't a good thing. A little bit of cashew. And a little bit of cashew will really change the mouthfeel of that oat milk and help pull it together a little bit more. And you can see what you think. You might like yours just with oats, and more power to you. Or maybe you're like, I do half and half, or I do 1 teaspoon of everything near me. And that's all okay. You can make pumpkin seed, hemp, oat, cashew, almond milk. You can do all the things. So that's what's also kind of cool, is that you can do pistachios, walnuts, things that would be like, some plant-based milk right now is very, very expensive. Yeah. And it's much cheaper to just, nuts aren't cheap, but sometimes you can find them on sale. Also, look after the holidays near the end of the year, like at places like Harris Teeter, Kroger's, where they have these beautiful gifting pistachios. And a lot of times those will go less than half price if you can find them. And it's a good time to like really store up a lot. And you can freeze those. So you can put them in the freezer, so they'll be good for a couple of years. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got. And yeah, I don't usually have pulp for making cashew milk. If I put it through my fine mesh strainer, I probably would have seen a little bit of the date pulp, but that's why I'm impressed.
Yeah.
If I use the Arc Mira and just my bar strainer, nothing gets held back. Oh, thank you. T.S. says, I love all the demos you do. I do not use enough plant milk to buy one. I use Trader Joe's soy milk, which is great. That's the soy milk we use. And their Trader Joe's oat only milk also doesn't have any oil added to it. So just be careful when you're out buying oat milk, if you are oil free, to check the label. It's real clear on there, but you might think it isn't. Betsy's asking, would almonds change the mouthfeel of oat milk? A little bit, and I would say not the same. Cashews are a fattier nut, and they get creamier than almonds do, which is why I would pick that. If you're allergic to tree nuts, you could probably do a little bit of pecan or a little bit of walnut, which is also tree nuts. So I don't know if that helps you at all. But almonds are tree nuts too. So yeah, okay.
Almond
everything's milk tree nuts except for peanuts.
And almonds always feel like, when I have almond milk, I always feel like it's thinner than all the others.
It is very thin. Yeah, almond milk, it just doesn't have the same kind of creaminess. Cashew, to me, cashew oat is usually what I make most things with. A combination. I like to use these toasted slivered almonds, but like in a pinch, if we're just going to make soup or stew or we're cooking with it, we'll whip up a quick batch of almond milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Linda says, helps to know the science of food when working in the kitchen for best results, or just experiment. I'm team experimentation, and I think that's really great. Oh, and it is a tree nut allergy. Vegana says, thanks for all the information ideas. Absolutely. And okay, so with a tree, I would just use oats. I would just use oats. And what I might do, if you're feeling fancy, take those oats and toast them over a medium high heat, and keep moving them around and smell them. That's how we make the oat parmesan. That's how we make a lot of things. So it actually will start smelling nutty, and that will add an interesting, unique flavor to your milk. Another thing you could do is add some ground chia seeds in there, and that will kind of soak up some of it and make it a little bit thicker. And if you're having trouble with it being slimy, Joanne's the one who taught me this trick, is to add some crushed ice in your blender with the oats and the water. And don't over blend. If you get, because like our super powerful airplane motor blenders will heat things up. What we want to do is keep it cool. Keep your cool, right? So that's another way to help with that. Oh, awesome, Linda. It was awesome to have all you guys come hang out with us. And I just think it's nicer when I do a demo like this. You guys get to see what really happened. And the things that were hard in the beginning, by the end, weren't hard for me to get open or closed. So I think it was a matter of me just practicing opening and closing them a couple times.
Well, and they were kind of totally different than any of the other milk makers that we have.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I wanted to make sure that we talked about this. And again, I can't tell you what nut milk maker or plant milk maker you should buy. I'm giving you information on all the ones, and then you make that decision. But if you have some questions like, will this machine do X? Can I make X kind of milk in this? Or how would I do that? Let me know.
Right.
Yeah, toasting the oats is amazing. So like to make my oat parmesan, and I think there's a video about that, is you toast those oats like that, then you put them in a spice grinder with salt or salt substitute if you're SOS free, and a little nutritional yeast. If you can't have nutritional yeast, you can leave it out. It's going to still be like a nutty topping, so that would work too. You could put different seasonings in there if you wanted. Yay! And Hedron, I will be trying to email you shortly about a couple of things. And I know you told us your project was done, and we have just been crazy pants lately. But you guys have an amazing, amazing rest of your weekend. I may even be inspired to put on some clothes and go run some errands.
Wow.
We'll see. I'm thinking about it. It's all because of you guys. I don't think roasted oats taste like popcorn. I think it tastes like nuts. But you could be different. You could be wired different too. Because sometimes, I mean, there is a toasty smell of popcorn, but I definitely don't get the corn part at all. So, all right, guys, do you have any parting words of wisdom?
No. I'm going to use it again. So if we could keep, I would just like to request that we keep it out maybe for just a little while and maybe try it a few more times.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. And we'll probably film some more stuff with it too, but we'll have Cheryl play with it some. Okay, you guys, do something super nice for yourself. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
In most places in the world. I don't know where you are today, but even if it's Monday afternoon, you still have time to do something nice for yourself. And that's what I'm going to try to do, right? I'm a little high strung.
A little bit.
I'm a little high strung today.
A little bit.
So I might go to the farmers. We have a state farmers market. I was thinking I might wander around there, or I might basically go trolling for more Kilner things at Ross's that I haven't been to. I found a spiralizer, this yogurt maker. What I really want to find is their sourdough kit. And so I like having a mission and going places. Yeah. Oh, thanks, CJ. Oh, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Yeah. Oh, hey, Randy. It's awesome. I'm glad you're on the Whole Foods thing with us, too.
Yeah.
And y'all, if you didn't watch our little impromptu live yesterday, we did not film the stew because we had to go to a neighbor's house. And we ate all of it.
Oh, it was so delicious.
So good. So you should make it.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. It was just like the perfect fall dish.
And so I had some Italian oyster mushrooms, some cannellini beans, some acorn squash, potato, carrots, cannellini beans. I put some herbs in there, some miso, a little bit of port wine, some of my bouillon cubes. You guys need to stock up on the bouillon cubes about now. And you can go to healthyslowcooking.com or plantbasedinstantpot.com. Look up bouillon. Look up bouillon on YouTube while you're here. I've got videos on all of them. It's ridiculously cheap and easy, and you freeze them in ice cube trays.
Yep.
All right. Oh, hey, Lori. Good to see you here, and you guys have an amazing day, and I wish you the best.
We'll see you later.
Bye.